Today I'm going to be giving away a free Comic Hero tee, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown, bringing out the comic books I bought this week, and if I mess up a lot, the blooper reel. And you know what? I can't host a show with these clothes on. Just a minute. Oh, by the way, I'm Victor. And you are watching the Comic Hero Show. Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. Coming to you from Clint's Comics right here in Monroe, Louisiana. And this is the third episode of the Viewer's Choice episodes. This is something that's going on all the way through the end of this month that I started last month. And this is the shirt that got the most votes. Judging by what you just saw in the opener, yes, this is a Wonder Woman themed Comic Hero tee. I actually have a line of Justice League themed Comic Hero tees. I made a Flash and a Aquaman Comic Hero tee yesterday. But anyway, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. Alright, last week's episode, I asked, what is the Black Panther's real name? Well, the answer is T'Challa. And 8 people have answered correctly. And I'm about to draw their names. So, the winner of the free Comic Hero tee for this week is... Stephen Taylor from Monroe. So congratulations, Stephen. You win yourself a free Comic Hero tee. Alright, here's the question for next week's episode. Who is the Hal Jordan Green Lantern's first love interest? Now here's the hint. She would go on to become a Star Sapphire. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free Comic Hero tee in next week's episode. Alright, now Bill Scarborough from Bastrop, Louisiana has requested a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight that is both magical and life-altering, and has a little bit of youth in it. Representing Marvel, we have Franklin Richards, and also representing Marvel, we have the Scarlet Witch. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call
the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today is Franklin Richards versus the Scarlet Witch. Franklin Richards possesses reality warping and manipulation, molecular alteration, psionic powers, telekinesis, telepathy, and precognition. The Scarlet Witch possesses probability manipulation, reality warping, and chaos magic. Who would win? You would think the Scarlet Witch wouldn't strike a child, but this is no ordinary child. Before this match gets started, however, the Invisible Woman tries to intervene. This is one mom who won't let anyone mess with her kids. Franklin tells her, "Mom, I got this." The Scarlet Witch, via chaos magic, creates a horde of demons. Instead of being terrified, Franklin uses his psionic powers and disintegrates them. He then uses telepathy and knocks the Scarlet Witch out cold. The Invisible Woman comes over, looks down at the Scarlet Witch and says, "That's what you get!" Franklin Richards wins. And that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown! Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, and if you have, I'll have one for next week's episode, but if you have one for future episodes, contact info is down there. Now then, let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
Alright, first up is Justice League number 2. Now this is part 2 of the opening story arc entitled The Extension Machines. And what's been going on in the first issue is that the Justice League are out to prevent natural disasters are happening throughout the earth, and the Justice League are there to make sure that there are no casualties and all that. But then they found out that there is something going on where to the point where all the where just about all the people of Earth, with the exception of the members of the League, are plagued with some kind of mind control, and the center of it is coming from Gotham City. Why does everything always have to come from Gotham? All right, next up is The Amazing Spider-Man number 15. And this is the conclusion to the story entitled Power Play, where Regent, who is this deranged and disillusioned character who ends up going and beating up both heroes and villains alike and taking their powers from them, is going up against Spider-Man and Iron Man. And he soundly defeats him in issue number 14, and I guess, judging by the cover, Mary J. Watson is about to become the new Iron Spider and going to take matters into her own hands. Next up is The Flash number 1. This is the first issue of the current series. Now, in the Flash Rebirth book, which was the one shot that pretty much ushered in this first issue, somehow the Speed Force ends up infecting everyone in Central City to the point where they all have super speed, and it's up to the Flash to make sure that they all know how to use their speed and use it for good. But we all know when you have power like that, sometimes it can corrupt you. And that's exactly what I think is going to happen in this book. All right, next up is Action Comics number 960. Now this is, now the Superman from the original DC universe goes up against the Doomsday of the New 52 universe, with a little help from the New 52 version of Lex Luthor. Now Superman thinks that this Lex Luthor, just like the one from the original DC universe, is up to no good and is pretty much a glory hound. But then he finds out in 659 that he's actually really trying to help, and we're all trying to figure out who in the world is this this person claiming to be Clark Kent. Well, Superman ends up using a gas main underneath in the sewers to destroy Doomsday, but when the smoke clears, Doomsday is the one who walks out. So I guess it's up to Wonder Woman to save the day. And then finally, Superman number 4. This is part 4 of the Son of Superman story arc. Now in previous issues, Superman understands that his son Jonathan is coming of age, and he's starting to develop powers. And then he ends up becoming sick, almost to the point where both his Kryptonian DNA and his human DNA are starting to clash with each other, and not for the good. And while they're down there, they end up meeting the New 52 version of the Eradicator. And in the last issue, the Eradicator figures, okay, a half human, half Kryptonian, totally unacceptable. We have got to do away with the human side of him. So he tries to kill John, and then all of a sudden Krypto gets in the way and ends up getting killed by the Eradicator. And then Superman's like, no, that's my dog. And then next thing you know, John ends up doing a good impression of Gohan at the end of Dragon Ball Z number 4. In other words, he gets angry and he's about to kick some behind. All right, that's 5 I bought, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 7,422. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. And the question again for the free Comic Hero Tee: who is the Hal Jordan Green Lantern's first love interest? And the hint is, she later becomes a Star Sapphire. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free Comic Hero Tee in next week's episode. Now, next week. Oh, and by the way, if you're interested in buying a shirt, for adults they're $10, and for children they're $5. Now, next week's episode, I'm not going to have y'all vote for a T for next week's episode, and here's why. A few days ago, I was made aware that this month is actually Spinal Muscular Atrophy Awareness Month. And I personally know a 4-year-old who lives with it. And I know him and I know his parents. And I want to do something that, that'll put a smile on his face, and hopefully just about anyone living with this disorder. Because here's my thing. If you may live with spinal muscular atrophy, you may live with cancer, or you may live with a disability, you may have it, but it doesn't have to have you. And in next week's episode, I'm going to be wearing a spinal muscular atrophy themed comic hero tee. As a matter of fact, I've already made it, and it should be on the Comic Hero fan forum. It should be on there right now, so everyone who is like the Comic Hero fan forum on Facebook, you'll be able to see it first. Everyone else, I'll have it put up probably right after you watch this episode. Oh, and well, that's all I have. I'm Victor Nunley. I'm the Comic Hero. We'll see you next week for episode 124, right back here at Clint's Comics. So till then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero. Today I'm going to be giving away a free t-shirt, bringing you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Lost the train of thought. Today I'm going to be... Today I'm going to give... Today, I'm going to be giving away a free t-shirt, bringing you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown, presenting the comic books I bought this week, and, if I mess up enough,